Hello, hello. Welcome to Sunday stream. Let me adjust real quick one of these filters here. There we go. Okay. How's everybody doing? I hope you had a great weekend, or mostly weekend, I would assume. Oh, I'm so tired, you guys. So tired from cleaning. Ugh, kind of hurt my shoulder, but it's fine. We're still alive. That's all that matters. How do you know you're alive? Because everything hurts. But yeah, so today I'm going to have to ask you guys to be patient with me. I'm going to do a quick overview first off, even though, yes, this is an art stream, but some of my friends are starting to get iPads and there's some questions. Now, I don't know what the specific questions are, but I promised I would at least get to an overview. So we're going to do a Procreate overview here in the beginning. So please bear with me. And then, of course, we'll get to the works in progress because there are a lot of things I have that I need to get done. But that's just the way it is. There's always work to be done. Am I right? So grab your drinks, grab your snacks. Hope you guys are settled and ready because I don't know. This feels like it's going to be a long day. I'm not ready. Yum, 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 drink, drink. Alrighty. So we are going to start off here with one of my little chibi girls as I move through some of these items and things that are going to be very, very important. So let's see how well this is. You can kind of see my hand and where I'm pointing. That's not too bad. Although, I don't know, I might need a light for this. Hold on. There. Not like you can see exactly, but exact enough. There we go. All right, so if anybody does have questions, because this will be pulled and separated into a YouTube video, even if you're on YouTube and you're watching this months later, doesn't matter. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask, and I'll do my best to answer them. So, as an artist, coming from using a Cintiq and Photoshop to now using an iPad with Procreate, I can tell you there are some things that are and aren't good about it. So first and foremost, anyone who has ever used Photoshop, I should say, it's really hard to kind of render in this one. So I'm gonna go to my girl Tilly here. Tilly, pretend you're not looking. But yeah, this is a piece that I'm working on for a friend. She's having a really bad time, so I figured I'd do something really cute for her. I'm still working on it, clearly. But the rendering is hard. This is as good as it gets at the moment. There's a lot that I'm gonna have to redo. Because the way that this is being rendered is very difficult. Being able to use the lasso tool and things like that, there is a lasso tool here, and this is it. There are some abilities and blurg, but for the specifics, you can see here, there's like an automatic freehand rectangle eclipse, and then add, remove, invert, copy and paste, feather, save and load, color fill, and clear. So I know I went over that really quick, but it's not important for the moment. Just know that anytime I want to lasso something, even if I were like, say, to lasso all the way down, blah, 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 you're having to move your hand and do it at the same time. So you're getting all of these little ink spots in it, and that drives me absolutely crazy. So trying to do a full rendered piece in Procreate, I find to be absolutely really rough. So if you're going to do a fully rendered piece and it's not the way you want it, I would definitely suggest get as close as you can and then put it in Photoshop and finish it that way. Because there are particular features that are here, but they're not the same. Now, if you're going for a more stylized look to something with some clear line art and really cutesy, then this is the way to go. Procreate, for me, seems to work better with line art and stylization, and so it's kind of probably the closest to Clip Studio art, so, or Clip Studio Paint, whatever. So just keep that in mind when you're first switching. You're probably going to find really, really stylized bits. Even though these look pretty well rendered, the closer you get into the details, you're like, yeah, it's not exactly rendered. It's just tricksy-fied. So, you know, you can't really tell from far away, but yeah, all of these pieces are mostly just line art. So that is why the line art, at least in my pieces, have been very heavy, like this while. I don't know, past what, 3 years, guys? 3 years? So, I keep all of my line art pieces, and some of them get redone in certain spots, some of them don't. It depends on what it is, but I do this with the intention of keeping them as coloring pages. So all of my pieces that I think have really nice line art and I worked really hard on it, I'm gonna save it and use it for other things. So that's where that is, and that is the most important difference between Photoshop and Procreate. Now, where's my little Mitsubi girl here? As for just how anything works, first and foremost, make sure that your iPad pencil is charged. Do not use a third-party pencil. I can tell you that right now. It's the same as using a third-party pencil with a Wacom tablet. It just doesn't work. You have to use the expensive stuff that goes with it. Sorry, not sorry. It works out better for you in the end. But as far as Procreate is concerned, it's broken down into very simple bits. You have a control board up here, you have a control board over here, and then you have your brush settings right here. So you can adjust your size and you can adjust the opacity. So for the most part, I kind of leave them as they are. Let's do another layer here. Oh, so I guess first and foremost, this little circle is your color. This is your color wheel. Ta-di-da-da. You have layers, and this is exactly where you're going to find all your layers. It looks exactly the same as it would on Photoshop with the double bit. You have an eraser, you have your smudge brush, and then you have, of course, your normal brush. Now, when you tap on the brush, the smudge, or the eraser, all of your brush library will come up. So you can also, of course, buy other brushes. I would recommend buying like braid brushes, chain brushes, crystal brushes, things that are going to be very hard to specifically render by themselves in Procreate. Hi, Annabelle! Don't mind me, I'm doing a quick Procreate overview here, and then we'll get into some good shit. So as far as my brushes, I have like thousands on Photoshop. In Procreate, not so much, because there are certain weird things about Procreate, like exporting files. My exporting files does not work, so I have to export it into Discord and then get on Discord on my laptop and open files up that way. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, but I haven't really troubleshooted it too much, just enough to know things irritate me. I had some brushes at one point from Ross Draws, but I don't know. Somehow, some way, he did not do his files correctly, and they do not show up in Photoshop. So that was a problem, and that sucked. But I did buy some brushes. There's a girl called 𝐒𝐤𝐬𝐧 on Instagram, and she has glowy brushes. So she's got all these nice glowy brushes that are really cool. So anything, again, that you think you might want or need. I have 𝐒𝐤𝐢𝐧 brushes, so she's got butterflies, trees, all the things. So again, just make sure and understand you are going to need brushes probably more than you did in Photoshop. In Photoshop, I can work perfectly fine with the basic round brush, nothing else. Maybe the brown brush and the airbrush, you know, the round one and then the fuzzy one. So regular round brush and airbrush. In Procreate, not so much. I have found that it is very difficult. But if there's ever an instance like where I'm doing chains and whatnot, I do have to draw them completely by hand, or braids. So let me go back to my asana real quick. We're going to work on her today for anyone curious. You do not have a braid brush that does the braid and it twists. So that kind of sucks. And some people are okay with that, but if you're not okay with that, you're just going to have to hand draw a lot of things in Photoshop, in Procreate. It's going from Photoshop to Procreate. Here we go. All right, so back to our other girl over here real quick. So, as I said before, you have your color wheel. Now, the color wheel itself, it'll show you what you had previously versus what your current selection will be. I believe there are add-ons for this. I don't know for sure, but it'll also keep your history, all the colors that you used previously. And you can clear your history if you like, or you can use whatever they offer. Now, down on the bottom, it shows the different styles. So you can use the disc, which is the classic color wheel. You can do classic, and it'll give you your sliders with the original stuff that we used in Photoshop, guys. It'll give you harmony. It'll give you value. Now, the value is a little bit more tricksy with just sliders, but it's fine. Or you can just have color palettes themselves. So either way, you can always add on. Anytime you see a plus somewhere, it pretty much just says you can add your own stuff. So same with brushes. If you're going to import or add a new brush, you just press the add, and it'll give you one that you can kind of make up all on your own. So you can also import, or you can just start from scratch. So it just depends. Some people are really good at making brushes. I'm not. I don't even bother with it. Hi, Jam. Thanks for joining us. Now, as for your top left stuff, this is where I miss Photoshop. So let's just use this layer. I've got my hammer here. So what happens is you press the first button and it's all of your transform tools. You can move it. You can uniformly transform it. That's what the uniform bit is for. You can reset it. But you have all of your basic transformations. You have your freeform, where you can do whatever. You have distort, which ends up actually, changing just the sides. This is really good for the perspective stuff. And of course, you've got warp, where you can really get in and change your pixels and make them really wonky. So, and of course, there's a reset button down here in case you screw up, because trust me, I do all the time. And you have snapping, flip horizontal, flip vertical, rotate 45, fit to canvas, and bilinear. A lot of that I don't mess with unless it's, of course, the flipping horizontal, because y'all know it's really important. But that is all your transform. Next to transform is your lasso tool, and like I said previously, this is where shit gets really not nice. So you can do your rectangle or ellipse, you can do freehand, which I mostly do, and you can do automatic. The automatic is kind of like the magic wand in Photoshop, but it's not as good, and you cannot change or adjust how much it selects, if that makes sense. So, when you're in Photoshop and you go to the magic brush, it's called tolerance. You cannot adjust your tolerance. I've got Photoshop open here so I can remind myself what's what. But yeah, there is no tolerance adjusting, at least not that I am aware of. So that's a thing. And then, of course, you can add or remove. Those are generally going to be your Alt button when you're doing the lasso. So Alt or Shift. So these are your Alt and Shifts, your add and your remove, which really, really suck. So that's just my personal opinion of it. You can, of course, invert it. You can copy and paste. Whoops. I do find the copy and paste to be the most useful if I want to say, like, lasso something that is still attached to the same layer. So pretend all this color is on the same layer. It's not, but let's pretend for the moment that it is. And I wanted to lasso all of the armor pieces, all the orangey gold pieces. And I want to separate it. So I would have to lasso each individual one and press copy and paste. It'll paste it onto a brand new layer. So let's see, I've got my lasso tool. Let me sit here and pretend to like lasso her little boob. Copy and paste. Boom. It says from selection. It doesn't show it very well here, but if I transform it, whoops. If I transform it and move it, right, from selection, yep, nope. I guess it didn't. Well, you know what? I was actually not on the right layer for that. Let's do that one more time. All right, lassoing. I'm a professional, guys. All right, and we transform, we can move it. Now that's just the regular one. So again, if you use your lasso, which I really fucking hate, as you can tell right here. Okay, there we go. Copy and paste it. I swear I pressed the copy and paste button. And there you go. And from selection. Now I've got it by itself and it's a duplicate. So that's kind of where that ends up being and why that is particularly useful. So there's that. So that's all your lasso stuff. Next to that are your adjustments. Your adjustments are probably the most less from Photoshop. So, for example, the one thing you do not have in here at all is like if you're in Photoshop, you go all the way up to File and you move over to Image and then you scroll down to Adjustments. You have all kinds of extra things. You have your photo filter, your color lookup, the threshold, the polarize, the gradient map, the selective color. I love selective color. It's not in here. You also do not have layer style. So if you go to File, over to Layer, go to Layer, what is it? Layer Mask? Layer Options? Adjustment Fill Layer? Something. Hold on. I'm going to have to do this on Photoshop to remind myself. Let me see. Oh, Image, Adjustments. Yes. No. Layer Style. That's what it is. Okay, I'm crazy. So you go up to File, over, Layer, Layer Style, Blending Options. You have no blending options. You have no stroke, no inner stroke, no satin, no color overlay, no gradient, no pattern, no outer glow, no drop shadow. None of that stuff. And those are very important, I think, for more text type stuff. So if you're trying to do, you know, like outlining your text or putting a stroke on something, that is not in this whatsoever. So you will need Photoshop still for those certain things. But your adjustments in Procreate do in fact have your hue, saturation, and brightness, which you get your 3 sliders and that's it. You've also got color balance. Again, just your 3 sliders. That's it. You do have a gradient map, I will say. You do have your curves. The curves are generally the same, but I generally stick to gamma. You can do the red, blue, green selections. If you use it, you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you still have a Gaussian blur, motion blur, perspective blur, and then you've got a few little bits and pieces from your filters. So again, if you were in Photoshop, you'd go to File, over to Filter, you'd have your liquefy, your render, your sharpen, all those things. Those are all down here as well. So we have noise, sharpen, bloom, glitch, halftone, and chromatic aberration. You have liquefy, and you also have clone. So for the most part, the liquefy works pretty much the same. It is very useful. That's one of the things that I really love about Photoshop is the ability to move pixels, but I don't think it's as powerful. So that's a thing. You have a little gear wrench on the side. This is also going to be important for you if you're bringing in files and moving things around. So just to give you a quick general, you have add, canvas, and it's going to change all of your stuff down here, share, video, your preferences, and of course just the help. So your preferences, I'm not exactly sure on that. Most of the time it does its thing. Otherwise, play around with the settings. It took me probably a year to kind of learn what the settings are. But canvas is important because you can crop it, resize it. You can add a drawing guide, which in this case, as you can see, you've got the little boxes. So you can press edit drawing guide down below and you can change it. So you can have a 2D grid, an isometric, a perspective, or a symmetry. And that's how people are getting the symmetry thing. For me, that was new. I don't think that's a thing in Photoshop. So I love her eye glow. Thank you. All right, so you could turn your drawing guide on and off. And when it is on, you can also add a particular layer. So let's add our weird layer over here. When you click or tap once on the layer, it'll show you all of these other different things. And for the most part, it will do what you want. But anyway, the point is over here, you also get your merging, your clipping masks, your alpha lock. Alpha lock is just your regular lock, your layer lock on Photoshop. So alpha lock is your locking the layer and you're only painting on that layer. And of course you could name the layers, etc. But anyways, you also have a particular reference piece. Oh, this is fun. So you click reference, whoops, and it'll pretty much bring up a new little reference sheet. So that's nice and that's fun. So you can use what's there, or if you tap on it somewhere, do it with my finger maybe, tap, 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 tap. There you go. You can have a canvas, you can choose another image, you can import another image and use that, or you can just not use it at all, which I think is pretty cool. I just found the reference thing a few days ago, I'm not even gonna lie. And of course, flip horizontal, flip vertical, and canvas information. Canvas information is only important if you don't want to lose what's what. So for me, this is a chibi panel. I know you really can't read this, but anyway, you can say who it's made by, you can put your signature, date created, modified, etc. But you can change your dimensions, your layers, color profile, all that kind of stuff right here. Most of the time, you just click on it and that's when you change the name. But since I'm not changing my name, I'm just gonna click done. And let's talk about the add section. The add section is when you want to insert something. So you can cut, copy to canvas, add text. The text is really crap. You can play with that. But anyway, insert photo. Insert photo is really specific. I just can't let you guys see my screen right here. So let me find something that I can add here that's not too terrible. Ah, there we go. Add one of my references. So you click on the piece and it'll put it wherever. So for me, my layer that I had that was extra was right there. You click and drag to move your layers. So here's a random reference piece that you just added. Again, you can click on it, you can do your things, or if you slide left, you can lock it, you can duplicate it, or you can delete it. And that's generally what I do. If you would like to create a group of things, just say whatever, you can click on a layer. You want to simply click, oh no, are you gonna do it? Oh, I just found another way to do that. But anyways, clicking on different layers, it'll change it, but you can still swipe. Oh, there we go. So rather than clicking on the bottom layer, you would swipe it to the right to also select multiple layers. But in this case, you can select it as that and create a group at the top if you wanted, or apparently just click it and drag them together. I did not know that. We are learning new things here today. What in the world? So anyway, I have my little hammer here on its own layer. Let's talk about those adjustments again. So we can like change the color, change things, and it works pretty well as far as being the same as Photoshop. Now, if you do something that you really didn't like I really don't like pink, we're not doing that, but we're still selected, we can unselect, and of course, there's the things on the side. You have a button that you can kind of make up and decide what you want to do with it, but you also have your undo and your redo down here. So, you want to undo the hammer, or do we want to redo the hammer? Undo the hammer, redo the hammer. It just depends on which one you're using. That's how you do that. And let's see. If I just tap once on my little square here, it gives me a quick menu. Now there are gestures that you can adjust for, like you use 2 fingers for something, like a 1-finger tap, a 2-finger tap, a 3-finger tap, a 4-finger tap. It's complicated in the gesture area. But you can have your quick menu set up and you can adjust these how you want. So I have a new layer, flip horizontal, layer opacity, merge down, clear layer, and flip vertically. I don't necessarily use my quick guide here or, you know, whatnot, but it depends on the style of your work, the way you work, your work progress, I suppose. Like your work style. There's surely no way to explain that better. So for a lot of things, you're going to find that it's very similar, but it's not the exact same. So also for a layer, I'm still on my hammer layer here. Everything that you see, if it's checkmarked, it's visible. If it's not checkmarked, it's invisible. So for me, it's the actual picture of the hammer because I needed reference. So you can hide your layers, or you can look at the in. If you click on the in is for normal. This is the only layer adjustment you will have. Now you have these on your normal layers in Photoshop. So you're on normal, you can change it to lighten, You can darken, linear burn, color burn, darken, multiply, all these things. Your overlay, your color dodge, it's all still here. Your add, this is where you're going to find it. Your saturation, your color, luminosity, all under this tiny little in. So always make sure that your layer adjustment is on your actual layer. It will give you an in or an O for opacity. So normal, it'll change to im if you do multiply. There are a lot of specifics in that that are going to save you and all of your layers simply because it's going to be different. Yeah, like I said, without having like the layer blending options, the layer style options are the only way I can get through certain things. So for example, Vulpera mentioned the eye glow. So her eye glow is currently on lighten. The normal color is right here, and it's not very opaque. It's kind of medium transparent. So my opacity, so here's the regular. The opacity was somewhere around 70, and I just changed it to lighten. So that is the only way I got through to get the color adjustments that I needed for this particular character. And there's more that will need to be done eventually, but that's just how it is on Procreate. So if there's something very specific on Procreate that you would like to do, again, you can send me a message or ask. I will try to explain it as best as I can, but you will find that it is very frustrating to not have the same extension, I suppose, of various things that you can use from Photoshop specifically. So again, as someone who came from Photoshop to Procreate, there are things that really, really upset me. So again, in this case, the line art, the cutesy stuff that is supposed to be stylized, very, very good for Procreate. Very good. Fully rendering stuff, I personally just have a very hard time, like I said. There are some pieces that I will have to take into Photoshop to fix, but I can't just take it into Photoshop, you know, on my laptop with a mouse and keyboard. There are certain things that you can and can't do. For those of you that know my pain, you know, painting with a mouse, you know that the muscles and the very specific adjustments that you do to try and color or draw with a mouse is very difficult. But I have lost those muscle skills over the years using, of course, my Wacom tablet. So I'm used to the tablet. So I'm desperate to get my tablet back. And that will at least be hopefully by summer. Dad and I are working on that so that I can be able to finally get shit done. Otherwise, that's the end of that. If anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get on with today's stuff. So, thank you guys for putting up with that. Loves you so much. I really appreciate it. That is pretty much for anyone who's currently, again, going from Photoshop to a iPad and to Procreate. Because trust me, finding all the stuff, it took me a whole year to not hate my iPad. Let me put it that way. Like, I hated my iPad when I first got it. I was like, I hate this thing. I will never use it. Oh my God, it makes me so mad. There's nothing from like all the Photoshop things that I want. So I didn't really use it that much. But then I moved and I had to use it for 3 years. So during those 3 years, I have adjusted to it, but I would rather have my stuff back. I like this stuff, again, for being in bed or doing the line art stylization stuff. But otherwise, yeah, Vel's a little depressed and wants her Photoshop back. I just prefer Photoshop, but that's just me. Oh my goodness. So, for everybody else who's been here, hello! Welcome back to our stream. Of course, we've been working on all kinds of stuff. Stream-wise, I do want to let you guys know that in the About section, you can look at it, I not only put up what works in progress pieces we have that Vel needs to work on, clearly, but also I put up a Spotify playlist so you guys can actually listen to the music that I usually listen to while I'm on stream. It's like epic instrumental movie kind of music. So if you're into that, the link is down there and you can listen to that whenever you like. But yeah, hopefully that helps. So, speaking of works in progress, yes, I know I have to finish my Sith Empress Rey. We're still working on it. She's sitting here. I need to create. Actually, I think I did. I have a magic poser piece. Yeah, there she is. So I promise you, I am working on her lighting. So this is essentially what the lighting will be, but with, of course, the thrones and stuff. I think I did a pretty good job. This thing is kind of hard to mess with, but I like to think she's pretty close. So it'll probably be mostly, like, I know it's very warm tones right now, but she'll probably be more blue in the end. But anyway, she's kind of sitting on the side because, again, I've been very busy. There are specifics that we have. Some of you may have also seen this one. Yes, if you are a harbinger of the void, you are very aware of who this is. So it was kind of just a quick, like, look at the lines. It's not even a piece. This is a sketch. This isn't even fully done. But I did a quick color sketch just to kind of see how Zal was gonna look. I'm not entirely sure I like it. It's good for what it is, which is just a different piece that I haven't seen anybody do this like angle, but I wanted something way more dynamic. But I think just for getting a fresh start, you know, like if you draw or create, or not create, if you paint a character multiple times, you kind of get used to it. That's why Asuna looks so good. Because she's mine and I've had her forever and I've done her a few different times. But brand new characters like Zal are very confusing and they need that brain work. So this is my brainchild right here. Hopefully it'll turn out pretty good when we eventually get to her. And so same for Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza is ready for rendering, but she is also our February piece, so I'm not even gonna touch her. I'm just glad that she's prepared. She is definitely prepared, let me tell you. But I got the colors down, things that needed to be there, and same for Asuna. So I told you guys I wanted her to kind of be in front of like that stained glass window that's kind of in the, what was it, in Legion it was the Paladin class hall. So there was always just this big, like, if you guys have ever gone in there, you know what I'm talking about. You go all the way in, you go past the pews because it's like a church, and you have the big stained glass window in the front. That's kind of the idea that I had when I made this one. So this is what we're working on, and this is why. So I've got my little stained glass piece. I have just a small inkling of it right here so that I can imagine what's going on. But also we're getting to that point where I have so many layers that I think, yeah, I really think we're on our last legs with the coloring. So this is what we're working on. This is what we're trying to get done today. And yeah, I'm really not sure. Well, okay, not get it done today specifically, but why is my thing not there? Okay, sorry. I needed to grab the actual reference. I don't like how dark the shading is, but we'll fix it. I just want to see why it likes this color. Anyway, so point being, this is what we're working on, and this is perhaps the favorite part for me. Yeah, I don't like that color. But a lot of people tend to really like the rendering process. So we are somehow, some way going to work on this and make it less weird. Because trust me, the color bits aren't helping. That's probably the best we're gonna get. Clip. But anyways, I hope you're all having a great time. I hope you're ready for this, because this is literally the part where Vel gets to just play around and figure shit out, hopefully. It's like I said before, and I was not lying. I am terrible with lighting, so we're gonna work the best we can with this. So if anyone's seen our update, you would know that Vel has been super, super seriously into my little Mines of Moria. Oh my god, you guys. I think I'm almost at the last boss. I'm really stinking close. How about that? Really stinking close. So I have a dragon to fight pretty soon here. They will work on these just a little at a time. But yeah, I'm having a really rough time not being able to render these in Photoshop the way I want, so it's just gonna have to be some serious works in progress. How about that? Anything that I make here is going to be stylized for sure. But let's just hope Vel can get all of her stuff done. Say there is a blog on my website. It's kind of like a brain dump, but it does go through kind of like some of the stuff that Vel's struggling with. So we're currently cleaning my grandfather's place, preparing to make it the craft room. Not really room, more like craft home. So it's gonna be the other half of my studio, so I can get everything out of the way, and then I can bring my Cintiq up here, and guess what? Vel will have her Photoshop back. Woo! But it's gonna be a while. We working on it. Okay, get some light. Although in our case, it's gonna be really yellow light. Okay. Ah! Or I could just throw it. Get it out of my hands. If I can just get the lighting right on this piece will be very nice. But I think it's going to take a bit. All the brain work, guys. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. Not that much, goodness. Oh my goodness, new follower. Oh my god. Is that 𝐶innKitten? Thank you, 𝐶innKitten, for that follow. Hope you're enjoying the piece. Or more like my complex brain work trying to figure out the piece, more like. Some of the lights will get brighter as we go, but it just depends. Gotta figure it out first. I know that feeling well. Hello, hi. Are you an artist, 𝐶innKitten? I want this to be pretty prominent around the head. We made it brighter on purpose, so hopefully this will come out looking pretty darn good. If we could just figure out where the strongest light is from. I am, though I have a nasty problem of not finishing things. Yeah, it tends to happen. Honestly, when I first started streaming, or even up to a few years ago, people probably got so irritated with me. They'd be like, you know, you never finish your pieces, blah, 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 blah. But honestly, they're not the ones working on it, so they have no right to say anything or judge. It takes as long as it takes. It's just the way it is. Like, let's see here. I have a Jinx piece that I tried really, really hard to get her finished for her birthday in October. Clearly did not happen, or was it November? I don't know. I had the idea in my head, but the lighting itself is kind of crazy. So, did I keep my lighting or did I delete it? It was so bad. It was pretty bad. I didn't like it very much. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. You just hang on to pieces, and you'll just get to them when you're eventually ready for them. Sometimes you're just not ready. Clearly, and only working with skin here, I'm struggling. Let's get back to our shadows. Where are you here? Isn't it a good thing October comes around every year? Exactly right. Like, oh, we said October. We didn't say which October. Oh, man. Yep. Oops. Might need a new layer just for the fingers. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. Let's see. I go through the cycle of being like, my skill in this area isn't enough to do what I want right now. So I go away and improve the skill. Take too long to improve. Come back. And I'm like, well, the rest is shit. Now I have to start again. Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. I feel that's so hardcore. Oh, man. I will say, though, as long as you can kind of break through and make it past that point and just be like, well, it is what it is right here, and I'm just going to add on to it, then go for it. Don't think too hard, iPad. I know it's difficult. Works better, I suppose. That's how I feel about that Jinx piece. Just be like, okay, that was terrible, but it's already there. I don't know if that looks too thick or whatnot. I don't know. The freaking Johnny, they're thick. What can I say? Nope, that's not it. I hate this smudge brush so much. I really wish I could use Photoshop right about now, but we'll make it work. I've struggled for 3 years. I'm pretty sure I can manage. It's also the other really big reason why I would rather just use Photoshop. I have so many things to do for my novel. Although I promise you guys, I'm working on it. Where is it? Yep. That's all I've got is my one dragon lady. But I have 15 teaser pieces that I'm preparing. So, I mean, I promise it's been like, what, 5 years? I'm working on it. Oh, good. I was wondering if it was a drawn eye. Yes, yes. this is my Paladin Draenei, since this is supposed to be part of a redraw. So back in 2019, because that's when I first started doing the art. There she is. I decided to make a piece and do it as good as I possibly could. And this is what she looked like. All the rendering I could possibly do. Everything that I knew of. Composition, all the stuff. Hopefully she'd look nice. I really, really like it. I'm great with metal. Armor and metal, I'm fantastic. But, yeah, this was 2019. Now, mind you, that just means digital art. That doesn't mean art. I've been doing art since I was 5, so that's 30 years. I've been doing art for 30 years. But anyway, digital, and it was very, very hard. So we are redrawing this exact piece, you know, the same armor and stuff, because, I mean, if you play WoW, you know this necklace doesn't exist. The gems don't exist on the shoulders, but I just wanted to make it look nice, because it's like, it's my character, I want her to look nice, and we tried really, really hard. And I had it critiqued by one of my favorite artists, and wow, she gave me some good stuff. So it's been, I don't even know how many years since 2019, and this is, again, the same thing. So we're doing the exact same character, but with all the new knowledge that I have. So, you know, perspective, the dynamic, trying to get angles and things correct. So yeah, it's been a while, and we've learned a lot. So we're trying to implement the things that we've learned. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Just reworking an old piece, but not necessarily just reworking an old piece, though. So also, again, the redraw. It's just a complete redraw of her. And hopefully it'll go well. It takes quite a long time. I spend a fair few hours rendering. But for those who were with me back in the day on Photoshop, y'all know, I do this shit quick. People would look away and they'd be like, it's only been like 5 minutes. Why does it look so different? I don't know. It depends. It just takes a long time. You gotta know what you're doing. For me, the hardest thing as an artist is lighting. My lighting gets fucked up so bad. So if you have an iPad or whatnot, this is called Magic Poser. I gotta figure out how to get back. There we go. Home. Where's my Alcina piece? There she is. Come on. This is this was my example, and so we tilted her as much as we could and got it, you know, of course, as we could with the stylization. But yeah, all the improvements, all the things. Even though it's not finished, I could see a massive improvement already. Thank you. So yeah, it's just, like, clearly you're an artist, so you know what I mean, but it's like, you know, you pick up little things along the way that are kind of like your own personal habits. So, you know, certain things get drawn a certain way, and it becomes your style. So I'm pretty proud of the way it is, but, you know, we still got a ways to go. And to think this is just the, like, the drawing, coloring part of it. It's not even... It's not just about, like, where it went when it started getting crazy ideas and perspectives. But they be crazy, I will say. Do I want it darkest here? I'm not sure. Maybe. Ah, Mickey! Hello! I don't know. But yeah, so I use Magic Poser pretty much to help with the lighting, because sometimes it's confusing. I'm good with direct light, So like this backlighting is a first for me. So we're trying really hard to find something that looks pretty freaking awesome. We're working on it. And her skin tone is just hard for me too, but we'll figure it out. So much progress. Yes. Sort of, kind of. Lots of progress, but it may stay, it may not. It really just depends. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 times to do the shading. And actually, I don't remember who I was telling, but I was telling somebody yesterday, I think. Was it yesterday? Day before that? I don't know. But like, people think that like you just draw and this is what it looks like. Nah, you guys. Like, let me... Don't need that, don't need that, that. Or that, or that, or that. Or that. Okay, you guys want to see like how my sketching goes? Okay, well, first of all, you draw the weapon, which... See how... I do messy sketches, by the way. Line art is kind of like just a new thing. I usually skip the line art process. Alright, so we got the sword. Sketch 1. This is sketch 1. Isn't it pretty? So amazing. Woo, those boobs don't need a boob job or nothing. So this is sketch 1. Okay, it takes many sketches to get to where you want. And then there's sketch 2, where we took the body and angled it in the way more... Or how would I say, like, the stylization, because y'all know 𝐤𝐤𝐬𝐧 got that booty. So we had to fix those perspectives. Wide hips, wide shoulders, Next step was, of course, to decide if I wanted it more like this, because I was getting there, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I should turn her a little more. Sometimes angles change. You just don't know what you like until you draw it, and then you're like, nope, it's not the way I'm going. So I had both side by side, and I was kind of like, okay, which one do I like the most? Clearly that one, because it's just so much more sassy, I suppose, and that's what I wanted. So then we got in here, and I'm like, oh, I had to do the armor ideas, I had to get the braid, I had to make sure that it would look right. It was not fun. It was a pain in the booty. And then, of course, get the actual armor drawn. Get the little tentacles drawn, get the braid essentially there, the armor, the spots. So it's not always the same. It literally takes multiple sketches to kind of figure out what's what. This one was more of the line art kind of cut out, made it a lot better. Same with this one. And then, of course, the added braid, where I finally got it to twist the way I wanted. But it was a really skinny braid, and I'm like, that girl needs to thicken up. So that's essentially what happened. So here's sketch 5. This is the one that made it, I should say. Oop, there you are. I'm like, where'd she go? So this is the sketch that made it. It's still messy. Like, look at those lines. See, it's like, it's not even remotely nice. But it had pretty much everything as intended, all the extras, all the details, and then we started doing our stuff. So, boom. Then we cleaned everything up and made beautiful line art. So, see, now everything's nice. The metal pieces are thicker, so the armor bits are thicker. It just depends on what's what for what's going on. Yep. And this is where we're at. I'm just trying to get the skin done. So if I can get the skin done and I can get like the lighting to be what I want it to be, for me, the brain work gets easier. But right now it just depends, because all the lighting is going to depend on the anatomy. Which partly does come and get a little bit of help because of the magic poser, but, you know, like I said, 𝐤𝐤𝐬𝐧, she's got very specific shapes. She's a little more muscular than the piece itself, so trying to find, you know, the right lighting for all of it is actually a big deal. And again, I'm terrible with lighting, so. But I will say, everyone that I follow, everyone that, like the way I aspire to be for their stuff, they're all really good with lighting. So that's where I know my biggest struggle lies, and I really ought to work on it. So But I mean, it works out. I promise you. Like most pieces, I'm really good. Like here's 𝐒𝐤𝐢𝐧. I'm really good with lighting, but I just gotta. It takes a long time to get there. I gotta do the brain work. You know, brain work, guys. Brain work. Oh, and Sin Kitten. I apologize. I did see your comment. Yes, I'm working on a graphic novel. That has kind of been my goal. That was the reason I even got into digital art in the first place. I wanted to be able to just draw my own characters and do the whole thing myself. So that's how we got here. Crazy. It's a high fantasy novel. It's pretty much based on World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings, and D&D pretty much. So it's kind of in that genre space. I wrote the story a long time ago. I used to be a writer. Like that's what I would do in my free time. I would write, and then it got to the point I was writing about these characters. I'm like, man, I really wish I could draw these characters. So, so here we are. Getting the majority of those wishes come true. Just working on it, slowly but surely. I feel like some of this is like too dark. It's like I also do shadows kind of like in two phases. Like I do like the mild shadows and then like the really dark shadows. So right now this isn't helping me because I'm like doing both at the same time. But I've got to figure it out. But yeah, I have two really good things going for me. I'm really good at armor and I'm really good with skin. So it just takes hours. Lots of brain work to decide, hey, how do I want this? Ooh. You know it's bad when the iPad starts being like, what is going on? Hole. There we go. That should help. Don't have holes in your pixels. That sounds bad, but I promise you it's not as bad as it sounds. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Actually, this is starting to work out a little bit better. Just didn't want it that bloody dark. Not that there's anything wrong with dark skin. I've just never been very good at it. And then, of course, the drawn eye, my only, like, really big complaint is that it's, like, the skin isn't dark enough. It's like, I want my drawn eye to practically be a drow. Is that, like, really so difficult, Blizzard? Apparently it is. Where's the lighting? We need to calm down right there. Calm down, lighting, calm down. Shadow. That is not shadow, that's an eraser. Shadow. Stupid thing. Just do what I tell you. I have to get smaller and more specific here. Come on. Part of it is just the brush. It's not as good as Photoshop either. So I'm like, ah, just come over here and do what I want. I just think it's really important to have that, what do you call it? Tolerance, adjustments. Might help if I also just do her face too. I usually just start with the face. Neva knows. Neva's been with me long enough. Probably judging me like, why aren't you just working on the stuff you normally work on? Because I'm just an overall thinker now. Gotta think about it all. Oop. I suck it. Come on. Oh shit, that was like insanely big. Like, I don't think you guys saw that, but woo. Trust me, that was not where we were going. Big as the damn canvas itself. Woo! Woo 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 woo. Let's see another spot. Stinking pixels. Could you just do what you're supposed to, please? I think the same thing over here. Jeez. Every time I think I had that solid, I really didn't. God damn! In certain spots, I'm just gonna have to save for later, because it's more like a makeup style than the actual piece, which sucks. Oops. This is just for skin tone, it is not lipstick. Or anyone starts questioning. Getting there. Getting there. If I can do the big pieces at once, it's kind of easier, but it depends. Well, it's certainly helping. So that's also another trick. Just zoom out. If it looks weird zoomed out, then it's not quite right. Can't tell you how it's not right, just that it's not right. Right, but the face at least is a good spot for slight help. Always go back to it and be like, is this right? Is this right? Oh, I've certainly got the demeanor down. Does that count? Alright, let's take a closer look at these lights. Not as bad once you remove that extra light. Sheesh. Hmm. And I do apologize if I'm quiet. I'm just thinking and working, and that's just how that happens for me. I mentioned it earlier, I do have my playlist in the About Me section in case anyone wants to know what I listen to while I work. We're more than welcome to it. slowly getting there. Oops, not the right one. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that's actually looking way better than it was. I'm trying to keep muscle blocks in, but it's kind of hard. The only good thing is you can always change the opacity. Woo! And just start building and adding on, but woof. Just for what it is, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. Got on the wrong layer. I did. Don't color on your light layer. Seriously, come on. Okay. Nothing happened. Nobody saw anything. Nothing happened. Nothing at all. So you'd think I'd be more into this considering I just had wrist surgery. Okay, maybe. I think I got it. I think I got it. That'll work. It's just not wanting to add up down here. Oh, yes. I had a ganglion cyst in my wrist, which he did a good job. It was like really pretty far out there, but yeah, I just have a tiny little itty bitty little incision looky thing. It's just really red, so, but it's completely fine. I told him, I was like, if you do this, I only have one real need. Don't fuck me up so bad I can't play piano. And he did a great job. I would happily go back to him again. I'm like, just don't fuck with my ability to play music, man. It's my only alternative for when I have nothing else left in my life. Hi, 𝐀𝐬𝐧, how's it going? I think most of that looks pretty good. It's not too bad. Just some of these spots are still kind of but not that bad, not that bad. It's going good. Great. Happy to hear it. Ah, light. How are you? Oh, well, I'm good. Slightly blinded, but good. Just working away, you know. Probably. Trying to keep these organized. A little rough. So if you guys can hear any noise, I'm sorry. Dad's in here and he's just mucking about. Like, you're not helping, Dad. Okay. Turn it down to about that. It looks pretty good. Let's see how this goes. Kind of pink, but highlights are highlights. Yeah, I don't know. Might be just a tad too saturated. I think this will work. That's pretty good. I usually don't like the lighting, but this can get pretty decent. Oops. Oh, much better. I think we just needed lots of highlights. I really love your line weightings. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it took me a long time to kind of like learn line weight and stuff for the line art, but I have some tricks for that. So, actually, let me just go to the line art to make this a lot easier. Boop. Secret tricks, guys, secret tricks. Okay, so your overall outside line, if you have like a character in a background, that it needs to be the strongest. So even like, let's see, trying to get one that's not complicated, but I apparently do complicated characters. Okay, Athea. She is very complicated and demony, but her overall outside lines are the thickest. Like those are the absolute thickest as the full outline. Then everything on top or is like in front. So say like her arm here is in front of the armor pieces. So it has that thicker line. And then the face, sometimes depending, like there's not a lot around her face, thankfully, but the face should always have that thick line as well. But you can tell when you get like towards the outline that the outline itself is like super duper thick. But yeah, anything on top should always be thicker. But that's where I learned all that. Because half the time I'm like, I don't understand line weight. Does it need to be like under stuff? Yes, that too. It depends on what you're doing. Like for example, for me, the boobs being, under, yes, they have to be really thick lines. But other than that, I make like armor really thick, or just anything that's clearly on top. Like the butt goes in front of the tail technically, so you know that the tail's behind. It's a little bit thicker. So those are my strategies that I make sure that I don't screw up. Those are the important ones. And every time I follow those like rules, everything seems to turn out really nice. So hope that helps somebody. And there are spots that kind of, at least with the shadow and light, that need multiple layers. The horns is gonna definitely be one of those. But, yeah, there's a few different spots that just don't quite add up. So, like how these other horns are layered, so there should be a shadow, but I just, yeah, trying to get the overall stuff done, and then we can add more as we go. Otherwise, it's just gonna get way too complex. So since this is part of the bigger whole, you know, it's all like the whole body, the whole skin, then this is where my focus is, but we'll change focus to the details later. So I haven't forgotten anything, it just takes a while. Like one thing at a time here. Sheesh. Oh my god! Hi, Shiva! Oh, and gone! Oh my goodness! Yes, this is Procreate. We actually did a quick overview at the beginning of stream, but for anyone who missed it, it will be up on YouTube in my YouTube archives, so make sure to follow me on YouTube, and I will have it actually completely separated. So you can either watch the Twitch archive and see this whole today, or you can see it in the video specifically that I made for Shiva. I'm still trying to use it. Oh my god. I'm brilliant, babe. I'm struggling in some spots, but I'm pretty brilliant. I'm just happy to get work done at this point. Oops, you're not big. You were big a minute ago. There we go. I have been forgotten. No! You haven't been forgotten. Nobody forgets gone. Hey, how are you? Yeah, she's been really busy. Like, major busy. Like, she got a real job. Just a joke, not that art isn't a real job. Everybody knows how I feel about that. People be dumb. I just got done doing a 24 emote commission. Holy shit. That's a lot. Oreo testing. Don't you wish? Oh, God, that was brilliant. Oreo testing. Oh my God. And I was broke as fuck. Oh my God. Well, very happy that you're unbroke, at least for the time being. Oh man, let me see my girl. I don't understand how you want me to do that because she doesn't have those. You want the light, but like that was the occlusion shadow. What do you want me to do with this? I don't know. I'm just trying to follow what my thingy wants me to do, but I have no idea what OT is actually gone, so I don't know. I cannot help you in this. But she got a big boy job for a little bit. At least working for a company, so. Where's that light? Now we're gonna have to be specific. What were I specifically doing this? Oops. There we go. I mean, ignorant or stupid. No. Yeah, see, that's what I mean too. Because you can say OT in music and it also means something different. That's why it's like I don't trust abbreviations of anything. You need to spell it completely out or I have no clue. It's like the kids nowadays, rather than being like, okay, cool, they say bet, like BET, like you're placing a bet, like a gambling. And I'm like, are you, why would you say bet? That makes no sense, but whatever. Kids these days. They're not more intelligent than we are, that's for sure. No offense, kids, but you ain't. It's like kids shouldn't be watching my channel anyway, so there you go. You just got caught. This is an adult channel. We only speak of adult things here. Thank you very much. I just forgot that iPad is big. Well, it's the 12, you know. iPad Pro 12. I have all the specifics down in the About Me part of it because I can't I can't keep my brain straight with like generation 1, 2, 5, 12, 99, whatever the fuck. I'm like, don't give me generation numbers. Just tell me what the fuck it is. This is generation we don't fucking know. Past the nano generation. How about that? We're in the we want big stuff now generation. Here I am, brain of a child. No, you're not. No, you are not. I know better than that, Gone. You can't fool me. Oh, actually. So, speaking of, I was thinking about you, Gone, because I saw this really cool thing where it said that in Indonesia, you guys have like this one place where it's like lava, but it's not lava, but it's constantly burning, but it's burning blue fire. I was like, oh, that sounds so cool. I want to go see it. This is also one of those spots where I should just be overlapping shadow, but I'm too lazy at the moment to bother. Mostly just trying to fix all the skin misplacement. Come on. I forgot my Guild Wars account, so I use my Steam to play. I don't know how to spell it, Reese. I don't know. I don't know nothing about no centaur. Centaurs are the enemy. I feel like I'll have to come back for some of my shading too. Or not the shading, the lighting. Let me fix that light. I think that's you right here. Yes, it is. That's better. Now I can see it. There we go. It's getting better. I just have to blend the living hell out of it, and it's fine. Wait, I play the bad guy, dang it. I don't know. Do you play a bad guy? I don't know what you doing. So there could have been an update that I just don't know about. Say, I don't think I've logged in at least 3 or 4 months, so I'm behind. Like, no idea. I would be asking Neva. Well, at least some of the lighting looks really accurate, but some of the others are kind of iffy. Need a better version. But it's not bad. So my Draenei doesn't exactly have a 6-pack. That is also the hard part. Being like, okay, what's real, and then what's just because she's a Draenei? Like, what do I gotta fix? I think this will probably help. But again, this is a second layer of shadow, so I don't know. It might make it worse. I don't know, let's merge those. Those seem pretty good together. Seems very weird, but should at least be like this. Say this lighting is just not helping right here. Let's erase it. Need the full picture, people. Okay, that part I do have, though, where it's lighter up here. Okay, that's accurate. My extra lighting. Oops, oops, oops. All right, we're gonna merge all this down except for the super lighting. Light skin can merge, but not the light lighting. Oops. And we're just gonna keep playing with this until it just looks better. until it just looks good. Okay, okay. Why is there a weird spot? Oh. Clear on top. Okay, thanks. She's thick. Yup. They look cool, though kind of difficult. Since my right click is broken. I don't know, but now I'm curious enough that I gotta get on and look, because I don't even know what you're talking about, but I want to know. But yeah, she's a Draenei, so she's naturally thick. But that's the problem. Fake anatomy versus real anatomy. I'm braining. This is my brainchild right here. Braining things out. I think it's going pretty well. Not as amazing as I wish it was, but you know, unless somebody wants to magically have the body of a Draenei and pose for me, I'll just have to figure it out. It's getting there. And I stuck this on adornments, and I don't know why, because I'll need to change that at some point. I don't know. That's just what I did. I did what I did, and just too fucking bad. It's about where we're at. Don't be weird. Too much, too little? Don't know. We'll figure it out. Oh, man. But we are currently a little over on time, which I kind of figured we would. I was like, Asana, this is going to take a bit. So that is it for stream for today. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out and watching me struggle. I think it's kind of always better when somebody else struggles, because then you're like, oh, okay. You can kind of pinpoint some stuff. I swear to God. Oh, okay, Faye. I'm like, don't even. What did you just redeem? So, let's see. I will definitely be stretching because I'll be leaving. But, yeah. We will continue with the art next Sunday. And of course, for anyone interested, we will be book reading on Tuesday. We are book reading 𝐒𝐤𝐬𝐧 𝐑𝐞𝐧𝐝 by 𝐒𝐤𝐬𝐧 𝐑𝐞𝐧𝐝. It is a book about Kira from Solo, the movie Solo. This is kind of her origin story, I suppose, which is so far pretty stinking good. So if you like Star Wars, it's a great one. It's absolutely wonderful. But that's kind of it for that. Thursdays are gaming days, but of course all the information is of course listed below. That way you can just come to my Twitch at any time and just be like, okay, what's this? What are we doing? What are we working on? I'm trying to keep everything updated at all times so anyone can see at any time. Easy peasy, no probs. But yeah, feel free to join our community. All the links and things are below as well for that. And I am going to try to find me something to eat for lunch. Suggestions, man, suggestions. But yeah, let's see. I haven't I haven't watched more of the vlog. Was the ceiling fixed? Yes. So, what Gon is talking about, my grandfather's place. The tree finally fell, the tree that we were waiting on. It is no longer dangerous. It is finally safe to proceed. But yeah, we patched the roof, and it was hilarious, by the way. But yeah, you can keep up with my mountain vlogs and all the weird shit that we do up here. There was no vlog this week, so in case anyone's wondering, I was just way too tired, so that just didn't happen. But we'll get back to them for sure. As soon as we can get all the things fixed and worked on, and etc., etc., etc. But that's gonna be it. Thank you so much. As always, thank you to the lurkers. I see you, Mickey. Hello, my yas. I appreciate you guys hanging out, even if it was just for a bit. That's good news. Yes, it is. So, for the most part, I will be trying to get that place cleaned up as soon as possible. That way I can move like my sewing machine and all these other crafty things up there, and then I can pull out my Cintiq and have my full digital setup again. I don't expect to have it anytime before February. It'll probably be done March, maybe, because I do have somewhere I have to go in February for a few days. So that'll be a thing. But once it's all up and set, Vel will be much happier, and you'll get to see a lot more work, and we'll do a lot more work faster, because I love Photoshop. I love Photoshop. I need it. I need it back so bad. But anyways, thank you guys so much. You can find me through all the links, etc. I already mentioned that. Hopefully, get it again that way in case you guys just didn't hear me the first time. I need to leave. My brain is fumbling. I can't wait to see. We'll try. We've got a lot of shit to work on. But anyway, have a great day. People, eat well, drink well. And I don't mean alcohol, but if it helps, then by all means go for it. Otherwise, let's see. Is there anybody streaming who I want to raid? Not really. God, I need better days to stream to raid people. Oh well. It was worth a look. Anyways, see you guys next time.